Hey, this is Daniela. So this past week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and Teacher Appreciation Day happened to coincide with Star Wars Day on May the 4th. There was actually a campaign online called Teach Me You Did, kind of playing off the way Yoda talks, and the purpose was to encourage people to share stories of teachers that were influential in their own lives. And it didn't have to be, official classroom teachers. It could be any sort of mentor. But today I want to talk about one of my teachers from school, just because, I just want to focus on actual teachers. I wasn't able to make a video on the actual day of the campaign just because, I'm a teacher as well, so I was a little bit busy this week. Growing up, I was always a pretty shy kid, but I was a good student and I loved school. And for me, I kind of, took pride in knowing that I was a student that, for the most part, my teachers did enjoy having me in class. I was very quiet. I never really volunteered a whole lot, and I wasn't a straight A student. I was content with A's and B's. But I did do my work. I paid attention. I was respectful. And I think most of my teachers, they did notice that, and they enjoyed that. And even though it's not that every day they were saying, "Oh, Danielle, you did so good today," or specifically complimenting me in any way, whenever they did leave a little note on a quiz or say something, that just meant so much to me. But one teacher in particular that I'm going to talk about was one of my high school Spanish teachers. Her name is Miss Mata, or I just call her Mata, and I had her my junior year and my senior year of high school. Now, before I had her, growing up, I had this idea that I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I took Spanish pretty much all through school. And in high school, I started with Spanish 2, and my teacher that year, she was really awesome. And then the next year I took Spanish 3 and Spanish 4, and that was the first time that the classes were all in Spanish, and I really enjoyed them, and I had a lot of the same kids in 3 and then in 4, so we kind of got to know each other. And then the next year, a group of us took Spanish 5 and AP Spanish Language, and we had all been together the year before, so we knew each other. It was this really great environment, and Mata she just did such a great job kind of fostering this environment and really working hard to prepare us for the AP exam. And it was in that one of those 2 semesters that I started to feel like, wow, this is really awesome. I looked forward to that class every day, and I decided, I want to do this. I want to be a Spanish teacher. And I don't think I told her that year, but I know by the time she signed my yearbook my senior year, she made a note saying, I know you're going to be a great teacher. And she just has always been really supportive. When I went off to college my freshman year, and that year and the next year, I came back around my fall break or my spring break, and I made a point to visit my high school and visit some of my teachers, and she was always one of the ones I made sure to go see. And I loved just telling her how things were going in school. And even if I didn't get to see her, I could always drop her an email. And although I haven't, kept up with her on a regular basis, like emailing her once a month, a long time can go by and I can just send her an email and she'll respond. When I started grad school for teaching, that ended up being one of the most stressful times of my life. It was incredibly stressful. And I remember going to visit her, I believe it was over fall break, and I had emailed her to see if I could come by. And she gave me a little bit of advice because she obviously is a high school teacher, and that is the age group that she relates to. And I was doing student teaching at the middle school level, which I ended up loving. At that point, I hadn't yet started. And she told me, what really matters is teaching at a level that you can connect with. So that's something that's important to figure out. And she's just been someone that I've been able to keep in touch with over the years. And I know that if I need some advice from somebody, even if it's not just about teaching, I know that she'll be there for me. Last year and the year before, I was able to go visit her over spring break, and it was really neat going back to my own high school during school hours, getting to observe some of her classes. She even had me sit at the front of the room so that the students could ask me questions in Spanish, and it was neat interacting with them on that level. And it's been pretty cool. I guess one of the things about keeping in touch with a teacher that you knew when you were a student, and then now being an adult, especially in my position, I'm a teacher as well, and kind of getting to relate to them on a different level. It is pretty neat. And I do feel like when I see her, she'll hug me, and I feel like she is proud of me, and that's pretty cool. I actually went to email her at the beginning of fall just to tell her how things were going, and her email bounced back, and I freaked out for a second, and then I thought, I wonder if she's retired. So I remembered her personal email, and I emailed her, and she did retire, which, you know, she definitely deserves it. She has worked so hard for so long, and she was such an excellent teacher, and I was able to meet up with her over Veterans Day. And that's the last time that I saw her in person, but I emailed her a little while ago as well. And, you know, like I said, I know I'll be able to keep in touch with her. I'm sure I'll see her again. But she has definitely been a very influential teacher in my life, because I honestly think if it hadn't been her for her class, I probably wouldn't have considered going into teaching myself. So, who has been an influential person in your life, whether a classroom teacher or just somebody else? And you know what? Maybe you've been an important person to somebody else, teaching them something in life. So that was my video for Teach Me You Did. See you later.